Hello children, I am going to teach you today and explain you the summary of The Suitor and Papa. The Suitor and Papa is written by Anton Chekhov. The story The Suitor and Papa, authored by Russian writer Anton Chekhov, describes the futility of marriage, relationship and family in European society. It delineates a contemporary society in which marriage is given secondary importance rather than job and enjoyment. Anton Chekhov uses wit and irony to add interest and humor to this story, which tells the tale of a charming lad who wishes to put off any real responsibility in life for as long as possible. Chekhov, whose greatest masterpieces are The Cherry Orchard and Uncle Vanda, uses familiar themes and morals in The Suitor and Papa. This short story is not one of Anton Chekhov's most famous work, but it still reflects his mental sophistication and exposes uncomfortable truth throughout, through a very expert storytelling. So here the story starts like this. Petrovich Milkin was a decent companion of Nastia. They hung out and the people thought they were lovers. Nastia's father was not an exception for this misconception. People started to ask Milkin about their marriage, and the young fellow realized the danger he was in. Before he could, flee from the country, Nastia's father called Milkin for a meeting to discuss the marriage. Milkin attempted to avoid the looming fiasco of marriage by asserting he was a Kondraskin's drunkard, he had fled with stolen money, and that he was mad. But in spite of every allegation that he heaped upon him, Nasha's father found the essential goodness in the young fellow. At last, Milkin approached his friend and specialist to certify him mad. On hearing Milkin looked for a medical certification to expel a marriage, the friendly doctor refused to confirm his friend as insane because he believed that an insane person cannot escape from marriage. This particular story revolves around characters like Petrovich Milkin, a young man, Anastasia, who is also known as Nastia, who is Kondraskin's daughter, Kondraskin, Anastasia's father, Dr. Fituev. So Petrovich Milkin hung out with Nastia, one of the Kondraskin's daughters. Seeing this, most people thought that Milkin and Nastia were lovers and would marry. Milkin friends began asking him about their marriage, and Milkin was not interested in getting married. Well, he had been intimate with Nastia, dined almost every evening, walked together there, but Milkin had no designs of marrying Nastia. Seeing this, his friends and Nashia's family would compel him to wed the young girl who loved him. Milkin chooses to leave the spot. In this way, he goes to Nashia's home and meets her father Kondrashkin. He tells him that he will be leaving the place in the following day. Kondrashkin is annoyed, the father is annoyed and shocked. He calls it dishonest. He requests Milkin to propose his daughter Nashia. At this point, Milkin presents a number of reasons to evade the matter. Milkin admits that he would find no better girl than Nashia if he had wished to get married. He says that the two had different convictions and views. Kondraskin counters this contention by saying that all people have varying perspectives and feelings, that he could never meet any lady who had similar perspectives and feelings. He further says that after a couple of days of their marriage, the harsh edges would be scoured off and there will be no distinction throughout their life. Milking says that he was not a proper match for Nasha because he was a poor man. The crafty Kondrashkin laughs at this. He reminds Milkin that he was a salaried man. Milkin is successful again, so he comes up with another lie that he is a drunkard. Kondrashkin says that he doesn't believe this. Milkin, being a young man, no one can believe that he ever had drunk. And now Milkin realized that Kondraskin was determined to get him married to Nasha. Instantly says that he took bribes. Kondraskin laughs at it too. He reminds Milkin that everyone in this world nowadays takes bribe. Next, Milkin goes on a little more dramatic and says that he could any time be arrested for embezzlement. He was on a trial. At this, Kondraskin appears to have abandoned this pursuit. He asks Milkin how much amount he had embezzled, a big amount of 144 ruble. It is ruble because the story is in Russian. Kondrashkin goes silent for a while and predicts that Milkin will be sent to a Siberian prison if he is caught. He tells him that Nastia will follow him to Siberia as her love is pure. He therefore asks Milkin to propose to her. Milkin now comprehends that the two were playing a similar game. The man was forcing him to wed his little daughter at any expense. Milkin's brain tinkles by, and he says that he would be attempted not just for misappropriation but also for fabrication. The intelligent Kondraskin laughs at this because there will be the same punishment for the two crimes. Milkin now says that he is a runaway convict. Kondraskin becomes silent for a moment and then asks Milkin why he had not yet been arrested. Milkin says that he had been living in somebody else's identity. Kondrashkin thinks about it. He is abruptly cheered. He asks Milton to wed Nastia because in that way the police could never discover him until that. Milton makes another endeavor. He says that he is insane, mad, lunatic, eccentric, whimsical. Kondrashkin in no such senses that you would trust it. He says that lunatics, mad people cannot argue or debate like this, content so illegitimately and reasonably as Milkin did. Milkin rises and goes out to get a doctor's certificate to prove his madness. Milkin meets Dr. Fituev, a psychiatrist. The doctor doesn't find anything wrong with Milkin. Milkin urges the doctor to certify him insane to avoid getting married. Dr. Fituev says that he could not certify him mad because anyone who doesn't wish to get married is a wise man. The doctor asks him to come for mental fitness certificate anytime he decides to get married. Milkin has no way out. He sits down helpless, and at last maybe he had to marry Nastia. So this is a story, and the story is about pull and push. The story is about the father trying to send his daughter for marriage, and the suitor is trying to avoid Nastia for getting married. So here the girl is the object, and both men are trying to change her position. The father wants to send to the suitor, and the suitor doesn't want to take the daughter of Kondrashkin. So here we see that the suitor is trying very hard to just avoid marriage and run away from the wedding. So this in story tells about the father's way of dealing with the suitor. The father wants at any cost to marry his daughter to the suitor, and he is actually doing the same thing. Pyotr Petrovich Milkin is working very hard, and he had given a lot of excuses to the father to avoid marriage, but Kondrashkin did not hear any of it. He at last tried very best to give his daughter's hand to Pyotr Petrovich Milkin. So I hope you have understood. If you have understood it, so you please like the video, also comment on it, and if you don't understand, you give me a message. I'll make more explanation video. And when you listen to this video, please make the volume of your device high so that you can hear my voice more clearly. So I hope that all of you will understand this video. Have a good day. Thank you.